Alright, hello and welcome back to Starladder Season 10 Southeast Asia, the match we've been waiting all day for. Johnny's Revenge versus Titan, first place versus third. The battle for the three-way tie starts now. I'm Helium, and with me is Blaze. I know you're excited. Why are you excited?
This is absolutely intense, man. There are three matchups that actually really change the stakes of what happens in SCASL TV. At the current state of affairs, there are already 8 wins on 3 teams. IAP Execration, Johnny's Revenge, and Titan. We've got 2 of them playing here. One of those matchups was played actually several weeks ago, and then one is playing in 2 days. If Titan lose this game, they are out of playoff contention, or the contention of the slot to go to the LAN. They are not going to Kiev if they do not win this game against Johnny's Revenge. And JR, if they lose it, they have to win against IAP Execration to force a 3-way tie, or they're out of the running as well. This is absolutely immense from both teams, both of the highest caliber that you can expect from SEA Dota. And of course, it's at the tail end of 6.81, so we're seeing the metagame fleshed out in its fullest. The teams know what they're up against, and even though there have been mind games in the past, here it's clear cut what the intention of the two teams are and how they're going to execute it.
Yeah, well said. Probably the most important game, the final game of 6.81 with the most on the line. I know there's a lot of other tournaments going on, but I doubt there's this much on the stakes in some of those games and tournaments that are just starting up. Starladder, though, well, qualifiers are almost over. Only 1 game for some teams, 2 for most of them, at least in the C region. So here we are. We're into the game. We've got some picks. We've got some bans. Johnny's Revenge taking out the Lycan, so finally we won't see him today. Lycan, Razor, and Earthshaker, they've picked themselves up a first pick Enigma. And Johnny's Revenge, they're a team that likes to do some things a little stranger than others. I know, I think the last time we cast them, it was Winter on an Omni Night, and I want to say that was against Titan in the, was that the MPGL or maybe something else that we were covering?
I believe so. I'm not sure if it was against Titan. I'm trying to remember who they were up against. But yeah, we did.
I've got it written down. I'll find it later, but we can continue with the draft.
Yeah, they definitely. He obviously has shown some diversity there, obviously knowing the strengths of some specific heroes in a fringe scenario. But now we're going to see an interesting pickup here. The Juggernaut, Rubik, and Enigma. Though there are some teams that actually run Enigma in a core role. We've actually seen it from EG a lot recently. Generally speaking, we're going to be seeing Enigma in the jungle and Rubik in a supportive role. That would leave Juggernaut to be kind of the carry, the #1 position, maybe played by Chibi in the safe lane. But, you know, I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can run it. The risk of running a core Juggernaut is just getting silenced out before you can spin, and that means you don't get Omni Slash, you don't get Blade Fury, you don't live, and that's a very real concern. So, looking at this, I would definitely feel more comfortable if I was in Johnny's Revenge shoes, if it was indeed a support Juggernaut, but that would leave a solo lane Enigma. So, a lot of different ways it can be run, but we'll have to see what they have in store for us here. The Titan, they go for the classic combo. They know exactly what they have in mind, at least for a couple of their players. Ohio has been playing a little bit more Faceless Void to fit the meta, but otherwise we're looking to Mushi on that one.
Yep, like you said, fleshing out the meta. We'll go back to what worked at TI4 for one of the more important games of 6.81 thus far, Skywrath, Faceless Void. Johnny's Revenge, though, I like it. The Juggernaut pick, it's ambiguous as a 3rd pick. It could be support, it could be a core. I mean, some cases it could even be off lane or mid lane. We'll see what they want to do. The core right now seems the most reasonable to me, but excited for what else they're going to draft up here as Titan goes for the Invoker. And I did manage to look it up, that ridiculous game we cast that I believe was like an hour and a half long with the Omni Night on the Winter. It was Johnny's Revenge, Omni Night on the Winter, Winter on the Omni Night. It was Johnny's Revenge versus Insidious Idol.
There you go. That was pretty intense, man. But I don't know if that's what they're going to go for this time around. I mean, obviously, the more tried and true pick for JR is the Tide here. Winter loves to play the Tide, is able to do it very well in the Dire off lane, and it is a hero that just by raw HP alone might be able to survive through the Chronosphere. We'll see if that's the route they want to go, or if they are actually going to put this Enigma in the core role, maybe dig up the Omni Knight, who knows. But for now, it's clear that they want to take this game towards the late game. They have some push potential with the Juggernaut and the Enigma, but they have a lot of counter push here with the Tinker. So they want to make sure that they enable whoever's going to be going towards the mid lane. I would say Polasan, but obviously he's being stood in for by Ling, one of Winter's close friends, teammates for the longest of time. They played in MUFC together. They played in an old roster of Orange Esports together. And he's been bringing a lot to the table, but mostly in a supportive sense. I've seen him play some great Sand King. I've seen him move about the map a lot, but he hasn't been playing core. So the question remains, who is playing this Tinker? And it might just be Johnny. We'll have to see. But no matter the case, Titan... they definitely don't want to have to deal with all these negative aspects of the Tinker, the counter push from the March, the frustration that comes when he suddenly is rocking that Dagon and that Ethereal Blade. They need to shut him down earlier, and that means another roaming support to try to put pressure on the mid lane, as well as ones that aren't too dependent on items, so they can Sentry or Observer on the Ancients to block the stacks out. But we'll see what they go for. 30 seconds left on the clock.
Indeed, and well, honestly, Johnny's Revenge, I don't know if they're doing this on purpose or not, but my personal favorite hero to have in any role against a Tinker is Juggernaut because of the Healing Ward. With the Healing Ward at even level 2, you can just walk through Tinker's March as an entire team and basically sustain. It's really, really good for breaking the high ground against a Tinker, but now they're going to be on the same team. So a little more difficult. They'll go with the Vengeful Spirits, who you mentioned you need to have a sacrificial support who can kind of just buy the dust and then of course buy, or not dust, what am I saying, buy the wards and sentries of course. And that's Vengeful Spirit. She doesn't really need many items, just brown boots is enough, and her auras are going to be good and they'll carry her team through it. Invoker and Faceless Void will be so much stronger because of the Vengeful Spirit, and well, the members of Johnny's Revenge will be weaker when they kill her because of that sort of negative vengeance aura when the Vengeful Spirit does go down in the team fight. And more bans, it's Fire and Ice. Ancient Apparition and the Batrider taken out here.
Yeah.
The 5th ban.
The Venge here is huge because not only is she able to break the black hole, whether or not the Enigma has a BKB, just Nether Swap in the right position at the right time, we'll be able to negate that, but it's also great for pulling Tinker out of a safe position. He blinks through the trees, you wave the trees, you swap him out, and you lock him down. Maybe a Chrono, maybe just a Silence and a Slow, whatever you need to keep him from escaping. But hopefully the tools will be enough. They have to predict the Tinker's movements very carefully because they don't have any natural vision there, so they have to get wards up on the cliff borders of the map, or they just have to be very predictive.
Those Tinker wards.
And either way, they're going to have to look for pickoffs because if Tinker and Nature's Prophet are both alive when you're trying to break the base, you won't make it to the high ground. You're going to have to turn tail and try to defend your towers by the time that you actually get to a position to force the towers. So Furion, Tinker, Enigma, a lot of major threats in these team fights that they need to bring down quickly, and the only time that they're going to be able to push through is if at least one of these heroes' buyback is on cooldown or unavailable.
I'm getting kind of scared for Titan right now. Johnny's Revenge, their draft seems really solid throughout. Maybe their laning phase is just a little bit weaker than that of Titans, which could be Titan's saving grace here, but they look so strong. They've got really, really early push in the Enigma, in the Nature's Prophet, along with the Juggernaut. And there you go, the Ember Spirit looking to stop that push, that Zeus strategy. Really good pickup here. But Johnny's Revenge, they've got a ton of push, they've got a ton of late game, they've got split push, they've got big ultimates, decent team fight, well-rounded. Titan, like I said, the stronger lanes, but for the most part, they're kind of lacking push. I guess they'll have the Vengeful Spirit aura and the Forge Spirits from Invoker. And, I guess Ember Spirit's right-click is okay. He's just good at clearing creep waves, not so much towers. So, well, if we see an FZ-like Ember Spirit performance, this game shouldn't be a problem for Titan. It's going to be up to Mushi this time as he scoops up that Ember.
Yeah, I've seen his Ember. It's really solid, getting early game tempo and just in general controlling the map. But they're going to have to really just overperform in this draft. The fact of the matter is they have no easy way to break into the Roche Pit other than just jumping in with a Chronosphere from the Faceless Void. They have no easy way to break the high ground unless they have a couple heroes already in the grave when they do it. So although they should be able to have enough space to farm up, as the Enigma is quite a greedy support and is actually going to be starting out with... Is this a level 1 Roche? No.
I don't know if it's a level 1 Roche, but it's definitely a level 1 5-man
They've all got
smoke
salves,
into the
they've
enemy
got
jungle.
They've got salves, they've got treants, they've got eidolons. This is a fucking level 1 Roche coming out from
Didn't
Giant.
someone else try this just like the other day, a level 1 Roche? I know I saw some happenings or some posts about it. Maybe they're just smoking into the pit. No, they're actually going to go for it. Like you said, you pointed out their builds. Like, we can look at it here, all the salves. 4 of them actually, and it's going to be contested. Titan is looking for it, or Ohio is going to be the first one to maybe show up. Can they turn around and try to kill him? Roche, they've done a decent amount of damage without sustaining a lot of their own. Ohio runs into this, he's going to be lifted up. This will be the first blood. Are they going to get some kills and a first blood? I don't know. Ohio's able to retreat. He did have that time walk after all, and they're going to go back into the pit. They've got the 6 Eidolons up right now. Still feeling very, very strong. Mushi's going to run, though, with that Flame Guard. Stun up onto Sharky. Sharky might be the first one to fall, or is it going to be Mushi? It's going to be close. It's Mushi. First blood over to Johnny's Revenge quickly. The Enigma will fall now. Ohio trying to retreat out of here. Johnny's Revenge, even if they don't get the Roche, getting off to a bitter start with that first blood, again forcing them to sort of back off here. And I think we're going to be around this Roche area for a while. Sharky's already respawned. They don't have the Eidolons. They're like, alright, screw it. At least we got the first blood out of it. Only Enigma went down.
Yeah, good movement there. Obviously, they knew they were capable with the summons, but the big deal here is how great of an area denial the March of Machines is at level 1. The Invoker brings nothing to a level 1 teamfight. The Faceless Void brings very little. So combining those facts together makes it very difficult for Titan to contest that. And like you said, although they don't actually get the Roche down, they get the first blood. They get a little bit of an advantage going into this laning stage, and they can always threaten that Roche very soon as well. They can maybe do it at like level 3, level 5, or they can wait a little bit longer and maybe add some subterfuge to it. In either case, lanes break down. We do see the Faceless Void up on the top, up against that duo, the Rubik, the Juggernaut, but Winter's the support. He's going to be running the support, and Johnny's offlaning on this Nature's Prophet. So a little bit of a switcheroo here, seeing him in a different zone, but obviously having the Moxie to do it. He definitely is very skilled and versatile as a player.
Winter's been playing the offlane role, right, for Johnny's Revenge recently?
Most recently, yes.
I mean, the offlane, obviously the laning phase is a little bit different, but if you're going to be playing on an impactful support as opposed to an impactful offlaner, I think they're roles that, kind of are similar, right? So it's not like too far out of your comfort zone as long as you haven't forgotten how to stack camps and pull through, which I doubt a player of his caliber has, so I think it should be fine.
Yeah, so we'll see. Obviously, the minute details is what it really comes down to here. The timings, the movement across the map, and when they're going to find their big openings. Sharky goes in the jungle with a less than ideal build. You don't generally want to go into the Soul Ring the Basilius before the Soul Ring, but that's what he picks up. Let's see if he has the mana to sustain it. For now, it's going to be a movement. Concussive Shot will connect. They've got the Magic Missile too. Sharky's going down with the help of the Sunstrike.
Yeah, pretty easy kill there, and Titan gonna pick that up. Vengeful Spirit bringing down the Enigma, so nicely done there by Extinct. So 2-1 for Titan. It was still that first blood over to Johnny's Revenge. Where's this Under Spirit finding himself in lanes? He's down there in the bottom lane. That's Mushi, safe lane, farming up a lot. 9-5, the most CS on the board yet. And then his teammate Invoker in second place, 8-4. But Tinker, not far behind, and possibly not in need of the best lane, because based on the draft, I think before the Ember pick, I would have said I really expect Johnny's Revenge to get some early towers, which, can help rebound the Tinker if he has a difficult time. But if he's not even having a difficult time to begin with, then he'll still have his, sort of pre or maybe just a little bit after 10-minute Boots of Travel Soul Ring bottle. But we'll just keep tuned into what Chibi's building towards.
Demised.
Yeah, so we're going to see maybe a little bit of attempt to pressure Johnny on the bottom lane there. We got the boots advantage for Ember Spirit pretty soon, but it looks like Mushi might actually be going for a Hand of Midas. Like, you usually don't see 950 gold stocked up pre-boots unless that's the item you're going for, so we'll have to see. But for right now, he's experiencing a lot of pressure coming out from Johnny and Sharky. The summons are here, and they're ready to rumble. No points in Sleight of Fist at this early level means that they are going to be able to get some good push damage on the bottom, but in the mid, Chibi's going down.
He is indeed. The supports are going to rotate over once again, and they'll bring him down. This time it's going to be KYXY on the Invoker that will actually get the kill. So much needed, and that's sort of the difference now. Quas, Exhort, Invoker is not enough damage on the Cold Snap to get the kills yourself, but it's still amazing for helping chain together the ganks when a support is going to rotate over. And in this case, 2 rotate over. It's an easy kill, 3-1 now for Titan. And like I said, I figured from the draft they were going to have the stronger lanes, but when Johnny's Revenge strategy sort of kicks into gear, could be very powerful depending on how far along Mushi is on this Ember Spirit. Or the Void, I guess, also with that Chronosphere potential.
Yeah, he's getting 1v1 time with this Juggernaut, so he's not just going to be your typical offlane Void that's struggling for items, only runs Treads and Mom for the first half of the game. He's actually going to be able to build up here, and that's going to be impactful. Hyo's actually caught inside the Blade Fury, and just going to have to time walk away. He really wants to kill that Healing Ward, but in the end it does just seal the wounds.
Very fast.
Yeah, and all the trading that Ohio was doing with that bash is going to be negated there. Winter will pick up an Invis rune as well, but it was scouted out by the Invoker right before it was acquired. So they'll play cautiously. They'll play under tower, at least for this 45-second frame. And yeah, I want to point out something about Sharky's movements. He actually went down bottom lane, not for any ganks, just for a little bit of push. You got the glyph going. Actually, a bait happening on mid lane. If Winter goes for this could be bad.
He's not going to. It's going to be Chibi, the only one in trouble. The Ancient Seal up. Is it going to be enough to kill him? The damage reduction coming out from the Fable. The right click is still enough. There was even a salve there from Tinker. Winter, obviously trying to save the day, revealing himself, ends up giving up himself as well. They lose 2-4-0. They're now 5-1 after a great exchange. After a great exchange in the middle lane, it's Extinct and Net, the two supports here that are really just camping it up here in the middle lane. It's really paying off because, well, Tinker can't do anything, and it's going to be up to this to the Juggernauts, the Enigma, and the Nature's Prophets to start finding some towers. So that's, like I said earlier, they can get the tower gold up, and Tinker can sort of rebound. Is rebound even a word from this sketchy start?
But yeah, Sharky's movements down towards the bottom lane were kind of a space creation tool for himself. He got the supports out of his jungle, forced them to play defensively in the bottom lane, and then he went right back to farming. The problem is there's only so many creeps to work with. With this central camp blocked out here, he's having to just kind of split between a couple, and that's been scouted out by Titan as well. They see Johnny kind of going for a duo jungle. He's now making his way back down bottom, but at least he wanted level 3 from the jungle itself. Up top lane, they will get the stun onto a high, but he just time walks away, and he's going to be perfectly fine here. So he's going to be building up his treads very early. Actually goes for the agility, the Band of Elven Skin early on, just for better hit trading. A little bit more armor, but more importantly, that right-click damage and attack speed. Just to really make it difficult for Ling to hold this lane. He's put 2 points in Healing Ward here. He just really wants to emphasize push over damage and sustain in the lane.
Yeah, I agree. I think he needs a Healing Ward skilled up. More so than the crit, because it's the healing that's going to keep up all your summonable units, your creep wave, your heroes when you look to push those towers. But here's that rotation over. Ohio throws out the first chronosphere of the game straight onto Ling. No healing ward down yet, and now he's silenced up, trying to run for it. He wands up, but the magic missile rather is still enough, and he's actually putting 2 points in that. As looks like the last couple of Vengeful Spirit games I've seen, at least in the C region, they're putting the points in the Magic Missile as opposed to keeping in at 1 and maxing out the Wave of Terror and the Vengeance Aura. So a bit of a different play style between not only different players, but of course different regions.
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with it in the last game where we saw so much potential push from all the creeps that were in play in that game. But in this one, their intention isn't to take tier 1s just yet. They're holding the line, waiting for their heroes to get into a fighting force around level 10, level 11. Right now, onto Extinct. He will be brought down very quickly, but Net, quick on his feet. The Sprout will be tangoed through, and he should be able to get out of this one. But no Sprout comes. Johnny sees the tangos, says it's not worth his time, and it's going to be the right clicks onto Winter here.
Yeah, just a big old right-click battle. They're going to spin to Winch. Going to get a little caught up there. Looks like he got bashed as soon as he started to spin there as Ling, so he couldn't chase. Like, you can really chase the Skywrath anyway. He's got Mana Boots up, already moving at 380 move speed, and it was Vengeful Spirit that went down at the beginning of that fight. It was indeed, and we'll look. Ember Spirit's going to rotate Mushi into the middle lane, looking to go on Chippy once more. He's already died twice. He will buy up the Soul Ring before he goes down again. And who's going to get the kill? It'll be KYXY on the Invoker onto a killing spree. He gets it. 7-2 now for Titan in the game with everything on the line. Like you said, they lose, they go home, and now we see Johnny in some trouble trying to get the body blocking with the Treants. Maybe a bit of miss micro as he kind of loops that way and then quickly back. But it doesn't matter. Will's going to die anyways. He's not getting out of that one despite trying for the big body blocking plays. Now 8-2, everything going south for Johnny's Revenge. I figured the lanes would be weaker. I didn't think they'd be having this much trouble right now, but the rotations from the supports from Titan are just on point.
You gotta respect Net and Extinct. What they can accomplish in the early game compared to any other roaming support duo is just amazing. They are honestly the top tier of support duos as far as getting kills to happen in the early game. Obviously, they didn't get the start they wanted with the first blood against them, but they've certainly made up for it every moment since then. They've been roaming about, they've been putting pressure, and this Johnny's Revenge greed is just so painful now.
Chibi again respawns into death. Ancient Seal, and of course the TP in from everybody else to assist. Actually, the TP was... Some of them were coming to help, and they will help indeed. They will bring him down. But the big black hole! Sharky onto 2 as Titan try to retreat. This is the beginning beginning of the beginning here for Johnny's as they finally get a team fight. A great black hole in the middle lane. They've got all those summonable units out as they look to push. Where's Ember Spirit? He is nearby with the double damage, and he goes for the early points in Sleight of Fist to try to stop this sort of zoo strategy, and it will work. Double damage along with the Flame Guard, and he's able to stop this push on the middle lane. So Johnny's Revenge not getting as much as they would have hoped for with the sort of line.
Oh, Mushi
goes in maybe a little too far forward, but he will jaunt out after just being lifted. He was definitely playing aggressive, but he knew he had the Fire Remnant, and, well, he's got the Skywrath on his team, so not in danger of being silenced up.
Yeah, just forcing spells out, wasting some mana, and keep on going about his business. He feels really just calm, cool, collected, as he knows what the enemy is capable of. And honestly, when it comes down to their hard disable against him, it's very minimal. The Black Hole on cooldown, they really only have the stun from the Telekinesis. And that's another thing that the lineup's really lacking, is just consistent disables to keep Ember in check. And he's starting to snowball forward, 4,200 net worth. Still behind his allied Invoker, but that's a pretty good place to be if you're only competing with your friends. But yeah, like you said, Titan are really playing like this is the last game they'll ever play. And it really is when it comes down to Starladder. It is game number 11 for them in this 12-team round-robin group stage, and it is the one they have to win to stay in. But we'll see.
Yeah, Ohio doing exceptionally well. I mean, he was that offlaner, like you said. He's third in net worth. His allies, that tri-core lineup, in top of net worth. Ohio's going to drop another Chrono. He will also get the tower. That's what he really wanted there. The Sunstrike will jump on Ling, but Ohio's just going to roll out. He really just wanted that for getting the tower. His Ember Spirit will kill Nature's Prophet in the bottom lane as they look to push down that tower, sitting about half HP. Ohio, though, here's the Omni Slash, and he will time walk away the limitations of that level 1 Omni Slash, and one final Malefice stun proc. We'll hit him down, but Ohio able to TP out, and I think KYXY in the bottom lane might be able to pick off this tower. Maybe doesn't want to put it in deny range, but I think he's pretty committed. The Force Spirit's just tanking it up.
Winter stole the Chrono there, and although he couldn't get in range for the Skywrath, there was a small window where he could actually have used the Chrono to get a movement speed boost for that last Fade Bolt. Essentially, the Omni Slash came through.
That would have been ridiculous. Did he have the mana?
Yeah, no, definitely had that option available to him between the two spells. But
yeah, for sure.
Most people look at it and they're like, okay, well, I cannot Chrono Void. And that's perfectly true. He'll still keep moving. He is the Time Lord after all. But if you use it for that extra boost, he could have actually gotten the chase, could have gotten the kill, but just not accomplishing that feat. It's just a little
That would have been pretty next level to just think of that in the moment. Maybe, what's his face could think of. Who's the Rubik the other day? I can't even remember. It was making the most ridiculous. It was Vanscore, yeah, for Navi making ridiculous Rubik plays. And it was actually with Chronosphere, which is the funny part.
Oh, we'll see a flank movement. Again, Mushi is essentially invulnerable here. He can, as long as he has a Remnant up, there's no way they pin him down without Black Hole, which is still cooling down. And not in a mobile position. This is a slow walk-in Black Hole, as he is going for Bassi, Soul Ring, and Mech as his big items there. But the pressure will come in the mid lane. It's already down to half, and with them having secured the top tier 1, if they can secure this secondary tier 1 tower, taking down 3 in total, that's all they need to do to break into the mid game.
Yeah, they're working on it. Here's Ohio. He's got another Chrono in about 2 seconds. And Ohio, in recorded games, he's actually undefeated on the Faceless Void. There's not many, 3-0. So feeling pretty comfortable in this hero. Probably feeling pretty comfortable in this game as they lead with the 2-to-1 kill ratio. And again, their tri-core lineup still dominating the top of the net worth right there. It's Tinker, who's died quite a bit. Oh, Johnny's in some trouble. This is that combo we see. Ember Spirit with the Invoker. The chains into the Sunstrike. Gets Johnny to about a quarter HP or even lower. But now we turn back to Ohio. Here he goes on the Chibi. TP's coming in, though, on the outsides of that Chrono. And let's see if they can bring him down. The Mystic Flare's just going to be enough. Not the first time today that we've seen a Skywrath support bring down that middle Tinker. And Ohio will get out with his life now 11-5. As some items come up, we're going to have an urn for Extinct. I love it on the Vengeful Spirit.
Now Winter's using the Chrono against Mushi. Here they will pull him right into the Black Hole. This would be a huge kill, but do they have the damage? Mushi can't get out in time. Sleight of Fist, but his Remnant wasn't up. And even though he gets a time where he can jump away, the lack of the Remnant is his own undoing. Sharky coming back into the mid lane here, trying to just counter push with the Midnight Pulse, but he's afraid of what Ohio can do with that Mask of Madness, just bashing away. So the tower will still get chunked on, and yeah, in the end, they only get one major kill. They need more. They really need to bring themselves back into this game, get some rat going, get some push across the map, at least get BOTs on Chibi. This man farming away, but with the bottle soul ring build, he's still 800 gold off of the Boots Travel, and until that's up and available for Johnny's Revenge, I just don't feel confident in their mid-game pressure.
Yeah, and the most ridiculous thing about that was not the fact that it was a black hole into a Chrono, which is already something to freak out about, but it's the fact that if Mushi had a Remnant up, he would have easily lived.
Yeah.
He honestly wasn't that much danger.
TK.
And he's that dangerous. Oh, Chibi's going to fall again, and people just
horrible.
dying too fast. That's the combo again, the Sleight of Fist Searing Chains into the Sunstrike as Invoker gets the kill, and Mushi... Well, also putting on a clinic as FCFC did. Mushi, and also in recorded games, 6.81. He is 6-2 on the Ember Spirit with just under 500 gold per minute, so he knows that hero in and out. We'll see what he can do with it throughout this game. Sharky, though, in some trouble. Ancient Steel will just barely live. Ling going out very far forward. There's the Swaparoo on the enemy as Extinct looks to survive, but will go down to the big Fade Bolt. And Nether Swap actually stolen. Very good spell for Rubik to have.
Yeah, I mean,
At least
level
to throw
1.
the enemy out of position, but then you're gonna die, and okay, maybe not a very good spell. It's an interesting spell for Rubik to have.
Definitely not one you very often get to see. Usually you'll see a spell followed up after the swap, but in either case, it's a level 1 swap. There's only limited functionality. I think the best possibility is that he pulls somebody out of Chronosphere. If Ohio drops the Chrono down, he gets the defensive swap to pull Chibi out, save him, because right now he's just having a horrible game. Well, dying so many times, 6 deaths in 15 minutes, and he's just losing his BOTs every time. So close now, 1900 gold, the final dragon. He gets this last hit, he's pretty much there, but man, it's been a long time coming.
Like 6 minutes late.
Oh, no!
And
Not
Ember
again.
Spirit is
Not
not
like the
done! Here
Chibi.
you go! Look at that, the chains are gonna lock him in place, and here comes Ohio. He will drop the Chrono. Chibi gets... Whoa, what was that?
Swapped,
To the
but
nether
still in
edge
the
of that Chrono? I don't even know. He was still in it, though. They will bring him down. It's 1 for 1. Mushi goes down, but he buys back, and he gets right back into the fight with another Remnant that will pick up Johnny almost immediately with the Searing Chains. Mushi is just playing incredible right now, trying to chase the Healing Ward is still online. Mushi, cooldown on that chain in 1 second. He will use it now onto Sharky. Gonna get them both, actually. Sharky to fall now. Ling silenced up. They're gonna bring him down. They're diving tier 3s right now at 16 minutes. Johnny's Revenge, they lose 5. Titan, only 1 casualty. It was Mushi. He bought back, he made the plays. They're bringing down the tier 3 tower.
Mushi just won them the fucking game right there. I mean, I might eat my words 10 minutes from now if JR can really pull the biggest comeback I've ever seen, but right there, Mushi just playing them like a piano all across the map, using the Searing Chains perfectly, locking down Chibi, preventing him once again from getting the BOTs. He just had the most painful game a Tinker has seen, and now they're just dominant, taking the racks. They're going to take the melee as well. There's nothing to stop it. They want to use the black hole. They're going to look to go in, and the melee racks will stand. It is going to be Time Walk stolen. He can use it to follow Ohio after the Time Walk and try to go for the telekinesis, but right now they're happy that they
Oh,
the base.
Chibi,
No,
no!
Chibi.
No,
No, Chibi.
Chibi's rude! It still doesn't matter. Too many stuns, too much damage. Sunstrike. That's actually Skywrath that gets the kill, but Sunstrike doing a lot. And now top lane, Johnny's in too much trouble. Mushi actually scratched that Ember Spirit, the answer to the annoying heroes. He shuts down Lycan in the last game, and this game he's single-handedly shutting down both a Tinker and a Nature's Prophet. Nothing they can do against this guy.
This is just a disaster for Johnny's Revenge. They have so much potential if they can just breach into their mid-game item set, but the BOTs is the key to that gateway, and right now is being slammed shut time and time again by Titan. They are just dominating the map, keeping control, shutting down this Tinker. He's farmed many stacks of Ancients, but he's still nowhere with 8 deaths. And it's just absolutely disastrous. I haven't seen BOTs delayed this long in the... I don't even know if I have. Like, this is absolutely absurd. But we do see KOXY just building up his net worth with that Hand of Midas, obviously getting a lot of value out of those Sunstrikes. And he's topping the charts, 11K for him.
He's got it.
The Skywrath is topping the charts over Johnny's Revenge. What do you think of that?
Skywrath is a good hero, huh? Johnny, in trouble once more, will go down. It's an intentional feed right there, because guess what? Chibi found the time. He was able to buy up his Boots of Travel as Sunstrike was stolen. How often does that happen? Winter's got the Sunstrike available. The Boots of Travel are finally online, but that's really just going to allow the Tinker to die faster. Like, hey, I can TP anywhere to the lane, and then Ember Spirit will kill me.
Yeah.
Pretty much what he's going to run into. I don't know if there's any way back into this game for Johnny's Revenge. Already losing a Rax, just pure domination. Look at Invoker's net worth. He is almost triple that of Tinker, who was the highest on Johnny's Revenge. As you just mentioned, the Skywrath even ahead of the Tinker by 1,000 gold.
They have to play this so carefully from this point forward. Johnny's Revenge cannot allow any more mistakes, and they have to pray the Titan makes some of their own. Mushi has to go down. This guy, even with the buyback, has just been dominating across the map. He's getting gold momentum. He's going to have the Battle Fury, and from there, these creeps just evaporate. Johnny won't be able to push with his Treants. The Eidolons won't come out. It's just, there's nothing left for them but holding out for a Midnight Pulse Black Hole. But you're up against a lot of ways to cancel it. You have no Blink Dagger on Sharky, and the high ground is going to be contested soon. First and foremost, Roshan is the target of choice. When they get the Rosh, they're going to get a huge leg up in their attempt to break the high ground. But there are tools to try to prevent it. Obviously, the March of Machines. Actually, bottom lane, Chibi got the BOTs, but that's all he's going to get here as Ohio drops the Chrono right on top.
My camera work is really good. Sorry, I was focusing on Johnny. Johnny, he goes for the cheap Nature's Prophet build. We see these Nature's Prophets finish up builds like this at like 12 minutes. And he has not even finished his Blade Mail. 2 Null Talismans, Power Treads, and half the components of a Blade Mail. He is extremely far behind as well. Nature's Prophet is second to last in net worth. Like the Enigma, which granted it's also poor, that 4 roll, which generally ends up being sort of a core position anyways, just because of how fast it can farm, and kind of took over Johnny's jungle, but Nature's Prophet very far behind. Rats is like the only answer right now, and well, really, if he TPs to the lane again, it's just feeding Mushi, and he can't do anything about it. He sees the Remnant, he's like, oh my god, I've got to run. Johnny trying to get out of there, Concussive Blast coming in, literally just standing still. There's nothing he can do, he dies. He knows it too. And Sharky though with a black hole on the KYXY will be cancelled there by the swap from Extinct. Ling with the damage here, with the spin, trying to bring him down, but is it going to be enough? The bashes come out here from Ohio. He will actually just jump away. There's a healing ward, a man advantage, but now the rest of the team is starting to show up here. Mushi will trickle in. He finds Winter, and Winter will die. Mushi onto a killing spree. 24-10, 14 kill advantage at just 21 minutes. Looking at the gold graph, already at 20,000 gold lead, 15,000 experience, and they know that's insurmountable. Statistics do not lie, and they'll just call out the GG.
I mean, there's nowhere to come back from at this point. JR, if they bring the Nature's Prophet or the Tinker out at any point in time, and that Void has the Axe finished, every 60 seconds he gets a kill on them. They have nowhere to farm. They have nowhere to just create space and create opportunities. Every time they leave the base, they're dead men walking because of this Faceless Void and his Axe that's going to be would have been coming after the Maelstrom. But oh, man, you got to hand it to Titan. They just played this game so expertly. Extinct and Net on the early supports. Skywrath, Vengeful Spirit roaming down to a T. And then Mushi, he got some space, he got some time, built up some basic core items, and then when he got the skill set, when he had the chains, the sleight of fist, everything he needed, he was able to just play the Ember Spirit in a way that I've never seen before. Absolutely insane from him. Across the board, Titan, just a profound victory, and it puts them in a great spot here in Starladder, Southeastern Asia. For those wondering about the standings, in 2 days' time, Johnny's Revenge will be playing up against IAP Execration, who previously beat Titan. If Johnny's Revenge wins that match, we have a 3-way tie between these top teams. If JR get knocked out, then it's actually IAP to advance if we're looking at head-to-head specifically. Not 100% sure on that if we're going to go into tiebreaker mode, but if it's just head-to-head, Titan need JR to win that game. But for now, they are still in it. They played an amazing game here, and it was just a pleasure to watch it and cast it with you, man.
Yeah, it really was. It was insane. I thought FZ was going to be the best Ember Spirit I got to see today, but I was wrong. It was Mushi. Mushi did quite well. And yeah, guys, the standings might get complicated.